That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Good afternoon. How is everyone? Hope you're all well. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. As you can see,
Nick's not here.
we have Mr. Hartwood joining us today.
Nick's not here.
Nick's not here. Nick's gone to see the family in Banham Zoo. She's spending the day with the relatives. So, peace.
Oh, hold on. You should rephrase that, Steve.
What's that?
Because you've just said Nick's away to see her family in the zoo.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What are you trying to say?
That's what I meant. So anyway, Nick's gone to Banham Zoo. That's my niece's birthday day. So Nick and Casey have gone to Banham Zoo. So peace and quiet. Yes. Anyway, so Brian's agreed to stand in. So thank you, Brian, for that.
Welcome, it's anytime.
So Brian's going to keep me on the straight and narrow. We'll try anyway. So as the description said, at my local woodturning club, we had a demonstration by the one and only Barry's Wood Creation, who's just come in the chat. He did a demonstration of a really nice lidded box. Now, what the club, I don't know how people's clubs work, but what our club does, whoever demonstrated on the previous month, the following month meeting is everybody brings in their attempts to make whatever the project was that the demonstrator demonstrated. So I'm going to have a go at doing a lidded box, but you guys know me, I can't ever do anything easy and simple. So I'm going to try and I've put a little bit of a twist to it, but whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. So let's go over to the lathe and have a look. What I've done is I have got 2 pieces of oak, which I have sandwiched between some foam. I watched a video on YouTube a few weeks ago, and the guy made a beautiful piece out of some foam. Now what it is 2mm foam like this that you buy from any, I don't know, thrift shop, whatever you want to call it. This actually came from Amazon. I think there was 100 sheets of all different colors. So what I did is I cut them into squares, 4-inch squares, and then I glued them. I laid them on top, resin in between them, laid them on top, resin in between, and sandwiched them together. And then I put them between these 2 blocks. But when I was turning them, they were still soft. So Obviously, without putting the resin and the fabric or the foam in the pressure pot, it didn't force the resin into the foam. So I came up with this marvelous idea, as you do, to turn them down to the size of a mixing pot, and then cram them into a mixing pot and fill it with resin, hoping, and then put it into the pressure pot, hoping it's going to soak into the foam. Whether it has soaked into the foam or not 100% sure. But the thing it did do, as you can see, that is really out of shape. It moved as I put it in the pressure pot, because I had a piece of wood on top to stop it floating apart. It actually moved, and the wood is not central in the blank, so that's why it's out of shape. But the reason it's out of shape is because I want those bands going perfectly centre through the middle there. So we're going to turn it around, and then we should get back to our nice centred wood. So that's the plan. But whether this foam has gone hard, we will find out. But,
yeah. Oh, very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. You can still turn it. You mean even though it was still stuck together fine, but even though it wasn't, so you could still turn. But as you can see, it wasn't a very nice, neat turn. It was just a bit teary. But I'm hoping that the resin has soaked into it and given it some stiffness, as you would say. So I'm gonna start turning off this excess resin, and I'm sure Brian.
I'm going to tell you who's here. I'm going to try and tell you who's here anyway. There are 47 people watching currently, so I'm just going to go to the participants list and read that rather than try to read everybody's name out in the chat. So first on my participants list, this is in alphabetical order, guys, and that's YouTube does that. So we have Amy DeAngelis. Hi, Amy. Barry's Wood Creations. Ben Chapman is in, so there's trouble ahead, Steve.
Watch out, Barry.
Brent Beecroft is in. Brian with the Y is in. Chris Dodds. Rob from Coppola Woodturning. George 60. Mr. Doug Miller is in. Hi, Doug. Gary Glass, the infamous Scotsman. Gab from Gab's Day Woodworks. Graham Brown's in. Jacked Up Leatherworks. Joe Senior's in, so there will be. Oh, will there be crit and some singing ahead for Glenn?
Possible.
Probably. Michelle's in. Hi, Michelle. Some dodgy character called SK Crafts. You didn't know that. Steve Fleming. Terry Bartlett's in. Hi, Terry. Trevor Reed. Wee Pal is in. It's another infamous Scottish person. Chase from Wedge Woodworks is in. Ivy Woodshed. Oh, it's just took a wee jump there. Let me go back down there. Somebody must have came in. Oh, Radar the Wood Tunnel appeared. That's why it jumped. Ivy Woodshed have said. Wood Rosary by Colin. Woodturning is by Barry. And our good friend Paul, Andy from Woodwork Learner. And that's everybody who's on the participants list. If I've missed your name out, guys, stick your name at the bottom of the chat and I'll give you a shout out.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Anyway, thanks for coming over and joining us.
53 people watching, Steve.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So hopefully we can get this round.
Well, here's hoping. It's not that difficult.
So I'm hoping I've got those lines fairly equal in the middle.
It doesn't look too bad. It's starting to become more round anyway. For sure, it's not wobbling as much. How have you that fixed onto your chuck, Steve?
It's between two centres at the moment. So as soon as I get it round, I'm going to put a tenon on the end.
Okay.
And then I will clamp it into the chuck.
Hi, Malcolm. Sorry, buddy. I missed Malcolm Douglas. Malcolm Douglas is in.
Hi, Malcolm.
There is a little bit of an issue with the participants list because if you haven't commented more than twice, or at least twice, I think it is, it doesn't pick your name up for some reason.
YouTube in their wisdom.
Yeah. Well done, Amy. Amy's just put some hand cream on, and now her phone screen is all streaky.
All right, so it's getting better. It's getting better. We're near to the wood there, so.
And Woodworm Paul's in. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
And Andy has said, question for Brian: are you chopping carrots as a stand-in? No, but there may be some potato. There may be some potatoes to be peeled. But I'll be in the kitchen now. Michelle will be doing that with a bit of luck. Radar has said there's too many names this morning. Hi everyone. Yeah, there is a lot. Now, we've all said that Nick Zametti tried to turn foam in resin and it didn't soak into the foam.
No. He did Shadowfoam, didn't
he? Did he?
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
All right, okay. I don't watch it in Nick's channel. Sid's repurposing says, well, resin looks stunning. I keep getting reminded why I don't want to turn it. Yeah, all those little white streamers, is that what you're referring to, Sid?
Yeah, it's still not soaked into that resin. That resin's still not soaked into that. It's still soft.
Oh dear.
Mm.
And you had it in a pressure pot?
Yeah, that was in a pressure pot under 50 psi.
So the foam is kind of too dense then, is it?
Must
be. Not soaking up the resin.
Must be.
And we've all have just said he did it with Shadowfoam. Shadowfoam is quite porous though, I thought.
Yeah, but it's chemical resistant, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because you can put it in toolboxes and all. It must be all resistant, mustn't it?
So Paul Finley's asking me about my BT saga. And currently, I just done a speed test earlier. And I've got 22 meg down and 5.6 up. But that won't guarantee that it'll be the same tomorrow. That's the issue, guys. It doesn't stay. So it's good currently. I've just run another speed test on my iPad whilst I'm actually doing something on the internet at the same time and see what it does. Because they keep wanting to blame other devices.
Shouldn't matter how many devices you got on it.
Oh, we've all says that Shadowfoam sent him shavings and that worked nice.
Oh, right.
Oh, see.
It's still quite soft, that. We'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I'll see what happens. Is there any danger of it falling apart, do you think?
Well, you never say never.
Oh. Yeah, but does it kind of feel loose or wobbly or in the joint?
No, it's not wobbly in the joint.
Well, that's right. Might be all right.
Just getting a good finish on it, and that's the trouble.
Yeah, true. It'll be difficult. And Andy has said there is no way for resin to soak into that foam. Probably.
I would have thought under a pressure pot, I would have pushed it through the pores, but obviously I was wrong.
But yeah. But it might be too thick to get into the pores, you know?
Could be.
That's the issue. It said, or Chase has said, they're running a secret Bitcoin farm in your barn, Brian. That'll kill your bandwidth. Yeah, I don't think so. There's no electricity in my barn, thankfully. And Sarah said, we had similar issues with one of my old workplaces. It finished up being moisture getting into the copper junctions. Said that is exactly the problem, but they won't listen. Jacked Up Leatherworks says, Steve, I've seen someone soak it first and then squeeze it in a vice. Wow.
That's worth thinking about.
Yeah, but then you did put that under 50 psi of pressure, so.
Yeah, I did. But I just don't know. It's just one of those things that it's just like trial and error, innit? See what you can get.
Exactly.
Well, you don't know
Nothing
unless you
ventured,
try.
nothing gained.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Jason said, yeah, similar to stacked leather handles on a knife. That's him replying to Jacobs.
Yeah, it's possibly.
Jacob from Jacked Up Leatherworks.
That's a good idea, actually. Soak it in the resin, then squeeze it up.
And the woodwork learner has said, even with those foam shavings, there are too many places where the resin did not stick. Pores are too small, plus the chemical composition of the foam goes against it. It's a technical answer. And Malcolm Douglas has said, is the foam open-celled or closed-cell? It's kind of as a closed-cell foam like that you're using. See?
I would imagine so, because it's use it for making cards and all that.
There you go.
It's more of a artist.
Chris Dodge is looking on the bright side. He says, well, if it comes apart, at least you'll know where the lid joins the base. Yeah, one less decision to make, Chris. And Amy says, where's the fun in not trying random stuff? If it goes wrong, oh well, at least you tried and had fun doing it.
Exactly.
That's the important thing, Amy. Just have an experiment. So I've just done a speed test on my broadband, guys, and it's currently at 18 megabits down and 4 up. So that hub speeds aren't quite what we expected. Surprise, surprise. This may be due to other devices. Right. Get lost. Don't go away, Michelle. Michelle just came into my office with a bowl and a potato peeler and a bag of spuds.
Well, you did say they needed doing.
I did. So it looks like I'm peeling spuds, guys. whilst I'm watching Steve. Oh no! How often have I done this before?
Depends how naughty you is.
He's funny. Well, I only ever all my time in the army, stuff, which was quite a time. I only ever once had to go to the kitchen to do what was lovely called jankers. I don't know where that word comes from, but that's what it's called. And we have ended up peeling spuds once in a 25-year career. So
you must have been a good boy.
Say that, and that was very early on in my career, I have to say. No, it wasn't. No, I have a little problem because I have a long. I would have qualified for a long service medal, but my conduct wasn't good enough. So it's actually a long service and good conduct medal, which you need to become a beefeater. If you want to become a beefeater, you have to have that medal.
Right.
So I can't become a beefeater. Let's leave it at that.
So it pays to be a good boy.
Well, it does if you want to become a beefeater. Ben Beecroft has said, do you have more than one service provider options? Yeah, we do. We have loads of, we have all the ones that you would normally have, like TalkTalk and Virgin, and well, not Virgin, no, because they have their own network now. But all the usual ones that you see advertising on TV will offer me broadband. But the problem is, it's the same piece of copper wire. It's not. They just rent the network from BT or from OpenReach. OpenReach are the arm of BT that used to be part of BT that run the network. BT itself are just a retail network now. Same as TalkTalk and all the rest of them. Chris Todd says, Brian, here's an idea. Put a potato in resin and turn it. Just thinking out the box. Okay, I'll send a potato to Steve.
Oh, thanks for that.
Resin, because I don't do resin at all. I haven't got resin. Jacob from Jacked Up Leatherworks says, many years of service, Brian, and the answer to that would be 25. Andy says, I can't believe Brian wouldn't have behaved himself. Well, I can't believe either, but somebody seemed to think I didn't. Here, Michelle, how many of these spuds am I peeling? I can't believe she brought me spuds to peel while I'm doing this.
It's evil.
Ben, I looked at that. So Ben says to me this morning, or Ben is saying that, as a last resort, you could get satellite broadband. Not cheap, though. Yeah, well, I just watched the latest launch of the Starlink satellites, and the girl who was announcing, who was the announcer, if you like, said that the Starlink have just reduced their prices, or are in the process of reducing their prices for certain countries. So I'm going to have another look at that. But the last time I looked, it was £475 for the kit, which is £25 cheaper than it was a year ago. And then £80 a month, I think, or £79 a month or something like that.
Is that unlimited?
Yeah, that's yeah.
But does that give you does that give you a phone line as well, or is that just your broadband?
That's just the broadband, I think. But you can, I mean, once you've got broadband, what do you need a phone for?
Well, there is that. Oh, look at that! Look.
You know.
Look.
Oh, what? Did it come apart?
It's just.
It's just split. Oh.
Who were misses? That's strange, isn't it?
Oh. Now.
No, I can't.
We're going to have it off. That's not going to work, Steve.
That's not going to work.
No, it is not. We're going to have an off-center bowl or off-center box.
We're going to have a box flying apart. You can have a box flying apart if I put that in the chuck.
Yeah, if you try and turn the inside that out, you may have difficulty, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's a no-go. That.
Although it might be interesting. Have you got a tenon on the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, stick a drill through and see what happens.
That'll fly apart under movement, won't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's that. No, that ain't risking. That'll fly apart. That'll fly apart.
Too dangerous.
Let's
right. Plan number 2.
Plan number 2. Let's find a bit of wood to make a box.
So that didn't work.
So let's have a look what we've got.
Got a bit of beach. Got a nice bit of beach handy or something. No?
Beach baby.
I shouldn't have said that because I was going to turn the beach box this week if I give them broadband back. Never mind. Right, Michelle, that's your spuds peeled, Pat. Thanks very much. You can take them away now.
So what I have got is, let's have a look here.
Susie, the Swiss food turner's joined us, Steve. She's a bit late, but she's
Hi, Susie. How you doing? Hope you are well.
I see Pete from Twisted Trees. Get a mention there. Where's Pete from Twisted Trees?
Is he here? Evening, Pete. Morning, Pete.
Sneaked in, I didn't see him.
Oh, evening, Pete. I'm trying to find a bit of square wood. I don't have a lot of square wood. Let's have a look.
Bandsaw, you can easily make it square.
Oh, this is true. Oh, I've got a nice little bit of laburnum here. That'll do, won't it? Make a little laburnum box. Let me just hack a bit off this with a chop saw.
Ben says, Brian, do a really bad job with them spuds and you'll never get asked again.
I did that.
That doesn't work with Michelle, guys.
I did that with washing up years ago and I had to buy a dishwasher, so that was an expensive mistake.
He says, Tisk, Brian. Tisk what? Anyway. and the wood, Stephen the Wood Dude says, thank goodness Brian is safe from Beefeater service. The crown jewels are safe. Steve, what are you doing? Because your pictures are all sort of funny. It's
funny? What?
Doing something strange. Yes. No, it's all sort of picture of my kitty. Unless it's, oh no, it's okay. It's just somebody else's picture of what's it going out to YouTube like?
YouTube's okay, isn't it? Right,
Yeah,
so
is, eh?
I've got a piece of laburnum here. So I'm going to find the centres of this. Grab a pencil.
Amy says there's no such thing as too many tatties. She's quite right. And Gary Glass says, I'm no tatty peeler, I'm a tatty peeler son. And I'm only peeling tatties till the tatty peeler comes. Very good, Gary. All said in the best possible Scottish. What is this piece of round wood you find?
It's a piece of laburnum.
Laburnum. Oh, that'll make a nice box. Oh, Pete from Twisted Trees, isn't it?
Hi,
Pete.
How you doing? But I hope you're feeling a bit better.
He says it sounds like Nicky has a cold or something.
She's got a manly voice on today. Oh, Pete.
Got a grumpy voice on, Pete.
No.
I missed Pete coming in because I was peeling the spuds. No, I haven't seen Roy either. No.
That's his birthday today.
Is it Roy's birthday? Oh, happy birthday, Roy.
Roy's the boy.
Yeah. Pete from Twisted Tree says, picture's good here, Brian. It will be your internet again. You're probably right, Pete.
Right.
In fact, I'm almost guarantee that.
Let's round this off then.
Let me test my speed again just for the fun of it. And Ben says, Michelle, are we having roast potatoes or chips? Roast potatoes, buddy. We're having roast chicken, so we're having roast potatoes, no chips.
I'm going to do like someone suggested. I'm going to soak some of that foam in resin.
Yes.
Right.
Soak it and squish it up. How are you going to soak it and put it in the ice? Oh, it's going to be difficult.
It's going to be messy.
I would say. I would be, yeah.
Right, so I've got an inclusion here, so I'll keep that as the bottom.
Cool. Could have a box with a hole then. Amy just said, I'll be there in 24 hours. Save me some, Michelle. Certainly, Amy. You're welcome anytime. Quick hop across the pond from Australia. Only takes about 23 hours to get here.
So I'll put a tenon on the bottom of this.
Oh, Dr. Bob's in. Hi, Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob.
He says, let's reinforce our long-term loyalty to the one and only Steve by giving him a big thumbs up.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good idea, Dr. Bob. If you've not given Steve a thumbs up, do it now.
Do it now. 48 million internal.
48 mil is right, Stephen. That's for an SC4 chip.
Oh, it's near perfect, guys.
Good. Yeah, you've done enough of them now. I would think you're getting used to judging it by eye.
Aye. Alright, so we'll flip that.
Ben says, Steve, you might want to try stabilizing the resin with a vacuum pop.
I have got a vacuum chamber.
It says in brackets, excuse to buy new toys. He's got one. You've got one already.
I've got a vacuum pot. Yeah, I've had it for a while now.
Well, you could try that. See will that suck the air out of the foam.
It's a good call, that is.
Which would have to be replaced with something.
Yeah, but if I put the resin, if I put rather than putting a positive pressure, put a negative pressure, that'd suck all the air out, and then the resin should replace where the air was, shouldn't it?
Should, yes. Unless it just squishes it into dead thin piece because the liquid won't go into the foam.
I'll play with it. I'll have a play. I like a challenge.
Could you stabilize it with not just with resin, with What, cactus juice or whatever you call that stuff.
That I don't know. I haven't got no cactus juice.
Some sort of stabilizing solution, maybe.
I don't know if the cactus juice would dissolve the resin. I'm not the resin, the plastic, the foam.
Yeah, right.
Right, so let's put a mark on this where we're gonna. I think I'm gonna do the lid just above the.
So
boys.
we've also got a turning question.
No good over here.
When
Well,
using and Jasmine, Pete's answered it, so I'll read the Pete's answer as well.
Right, okay.
When using the pattern tool, is there a happy angle like above the center line or straight on? Pete has said, Weval, above the center at all times, I tend to start high, lift the handle rather than push it in. That's kind of what I do as well.
Yep.
Kind of keep the handle low, aim it just above center, and then lift the handle up as you push the cut in. That's how I do it. Yeah, Andy the Woodward Leather says it needs to be open pore foam, as I don't think the resin will stick to the foam.
Right.
I think that's about right, Andy. I have to say that's kind of where my mind is. I think that the resin is too thick, and it won't get into the pores of the foam. That foam is probably almost waterproof.
Yeah,
if you poured water on it, it'll just sit on top. It won't soak into it.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose.
And water penetrates most things.
Like I say, I just basically went on our famous Amazon and just bought some foam. I didn't really think about whether it'd be waterproof or whatever, but they put it in the vacuum chamber is a good idea. Though to try.
Yep, it's worth a try. It'll not do any harm.
I've got some offcuts of what I cut off the other bit. So.
All right. Give it a try with that and see how it goes then.
Yeah, I will do.
So Chase has added his piece to Val's question. He said, lost it. Val, use the ABCs of turning. Anchor the tool. A, B is bevel. Ride the bevel on the workpiece and lift the handle to engage the cut. Anchor, bevel, cut. I agree. Oh, we're having a wasted box, are we?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't want to take all that out there. There's a little void in there. I want to try and keep some of that.
So the issue with Val's turnings, I think Val's not using standard tools. Or I shouldn't say standard tools because that's a misnomer these days. Val mostly uses carbides, I think.
Yep.
Not right, Val? Or are you using what is laughingly called traditional tools with a bevel?
See, I always thought when you use a pattern tool, you don't cut with it. Let me put it on a camera that you can see. This one. If this is our piece with a pattern tool, you don't go in with it like that. You go up high, and then, like Brian just said, you ride the bevel till it starts to cut. Then you gradually lift the handle. But as you gradually lift the handle, you also need to push the tool forward until you get
forward. Yeah.
Until you get to a point where you are above center. So when you're above center, then you lift the handle and start finishing it off. That's how I was always taught.
And the cut follows an arc down in towards the middle of the piece.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're coming down in a spiral. If you looked at it from end on, it'd be almost like starting a little spiral coming down towards the middle. I just used my mouse on that picture and just drew that spiral, hoping people would see it, but they won't.
Did you see it, folks? Did you see it?
Trevor Reed says, "Gotta go, guys. Screw fix orders ready. You hot melt glue gun. Yeah.
Ooh.
Have fun, Trevor. Talk to you later, mate.
Right, so I'm just going to quickly sand this up. I don't want to take no more now because I don't want to lose that. I want to keep that.
Yep.
I like that. I might paint that a colour just to give it a little bit of character. So I'm just going to quickly sand this.
A gold leaf in there, Steve.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, actually. A bit of gold in there. Gold.
Yeah, Weevil says yes, she does use carbides and she's struggling with the parting tool for doing the groove for the litter box. Yeah, so I'm no expert in carbide tools because I haven't got one. None at all. Well, that's a lie. I have a Simon Hope carbide cutter for hollowing, but that's all.
Right, so just go through the grits.
So Andy says it might be fun to have a try with a sponge. You get lots of multicoloured sponges these days, Steve. You know
yeah, a lot of air bubbles in them as well, aren't there?
and when you squeeze them, when you actually squeeze them, they kind of suck up the liquid.
Yeah, that's worth
So
a
if you
try.
got, you might have a try at that with some resin on it. See how that would go. That would definitely work in a vacuum chuck.
I'm always trying new. I always want to try new stuff. I'm like, whoa.
Stop it! I'm thinking about buying a vacuum chuck now. Or not a vacuum chuck, a vacuum
Pressure chamber.
Yeah, well, vacuum chamber.
There's a lot of hoo-ha between what's the best, pressure pot or vacuum pot.
There's for two different things.
Exactly. And a lot of people,
they're for two different.
A lot of people put resin in a vacuum chamber to draw the air out of it before they pour it.
You can, yeah. You can.
Which is great if you're just doing resin, but if you're doing resin with timber and all that, then the timber's going to have air in it anyway, so you're defeating the object, really.
Yeah, the idea of the pressure pot is that you squeeze the bubbles up that small that you can't see them.
Yeah. Well, then you're pushing, you're forcing the air, you're forcing the resin into the porous parts as well.
So Pete said I did a piece on the parting tool on Thursday's lunchtime live, but when I was covering for Brian, but I unlisted it because it was rubbish. Well, there you go, Pete. You're on Monday. You could do a little parting tool demo.
People like that sort of thing.
You've got more than one parting tool, so you could choose how to use them all, Pete. Good man. Well done, Pete. I think I just volunteered Pete.
Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a bit bigger. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to part that off now, and I'm going to make the lid so it sits inside the top of the other one.
Oh.
So I'm going to part this off.
There's a nice piece. There's a lovely piece of grain on there that if you get it to match together, it would be super.
Yeah.
But you're going to make it sit inside it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was planning anyway.
That's fine. Work away. Woodward Leonard says, Brian, you have been found out you really love resin. No, I don't really love resin. I do turn it, but it's only because somebody keeps sending me it. And my good friend Mark, the gentleman woodturner, just sent me a parcel that I received the other day, which I was going to open live on Thursday, but that failed, obviously. So I opened it, and there is over 20 blanks in it, pen blanks, and most of them are resin. Pete says the vacuum chamber will make the bubbles bigger and raise the temperature of the resin so it will set quicker. Oh, there you go, Pete. And Pete, he quickly added, Lewis said so.
Lewis said so. I like it.
I was just about to jump in there and say, how do you know, Pete?
Lewis says.
Pete likes resin even less than I do.
Right, so use the spindle gouge to open this up.
Little bit of back hollowing.
Put a bit of light on so we can see.
Jacob says, Jace might have to come down for a lesson in the future. And Chase said, I'm no expert, Jacob, but I've got all 10 fingers and I get the job done. That's a good recommendation. Chris from Bailey's Woodworks is in. Hi, Chris.
Chris, how you doing?
And Dr. Bob says you can draw a vacuum in a pressure pot too, with only a few modifications. Sure you can, Dr. Bob.
So I'm going to take quite a bit of this out before I...
It's cut well.
Yeah.
Look who's in. Jennifer's Crafting Creations has joined us.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
She says, good afternoon, Steve, Nikki, and Brian. Nikki's not here, Jennifer.
No, unfortunately,
You're
Nikki's
back.
not here. Nikki's not here today, Jennifer. Sorry.
Steve, in Steve's words, she's away to visit her family in the zoo. That was the exact words.
With her family.
Where's Nikki, Steve? No, that's not what you said.
She's gone to the
That's
zoo
not what you said.
to see her family. That's what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to get me in trouble, you are, Brian.
Never would I do such a thing.
Whoops. Don't do that, Steve.
Oh, Pete's chickened out about the Monday thing.
Is he?
He says, yep, he's just said to Weval, there's the link for the last 10 minutes. I've just changed it to unlisted, so that link will get you into it. That's very kind of you, Pete. Let Weval see that. Excellent. Pete must have something planned for Monday.
Oh, it's a crack there. Look,
Are
bring that break out.
Are you on a Monday? Are you on a Monday, Pete?
He's not feeling too well, is he? I don't know if he's going to be well enough.
No, I think he had a bit of a cold yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
What did you say there, Steve? You got a bit of a crack in that?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to set it with super glue? No.
I'm just going to take that out of there so I can get a bit in the back as well as the front.
Jeez, that doesn't. Lewis has joined us. Good
Hi,
morning,
Lewis.
all, he says.
How the devil are you?
And Donna the Love Angel has joined us.
Have you got time to stop, Lewis?
Yeah, winter's coming, Lewis. Get back out there. Get working. Lewis is renovating a house currently.
Right, let's run
You know what it's like in Canada. They have to get it done in the summertime.
Right, so let's run a little bit of super glue. It's just where that's coming through there, just where it's cracking. So if I just run a little bit of super glue in there, it's a medium super glue.
Just tough that bit of the inclusion, is it?
Yeah, actually I'll run a bit of thin in there, I think. That'll soak through the wood then, shouldn't it?
Yeah. It is soaking through. I can see it running down it.
Actually, I'll coat the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, good idea, Steve. Just stiffen up a wee bit.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
What'd you do?
Put it where I don't want it.
Oh well.
Whole thing might get coloured now.
Oh well.
Right, so we just spray that.
The bottom is known for its grain too, so I hope you haven't ruined this now.
Yeah, I'll never say never.
Might have to do it all in thin super glue to make it look the same.
Yeah. See how you finish.
That's it. Well, Mark's not in. That's all I can say. Talking about CA finishing.
So just put a little bit of...
Amy says, what's the fine super glue you're using, Steve? Starbond.
Yeah, Starbond.
Starbond.
Starbond. Oh, wrong camera. Starbond.
If you're in America, Steve has a discount code for Starbond.
Yeah, no good for you if you're in
It
the UK.
doesn't work in the UK.
Which is silly, really, but never mind. Should be able to sand that, I think. Right. So let's get back on.
Jennifer's just finished typing almost everybody's name in there. Well done, Jennifer.
That's
There's 60
dedication.
people watching. All right, you're going now, are you? Jennifer says, all right, I'm going now, seeing Nicky's not here.
Ah,
All right, then. Off you go, then.
that's
See
nice.
if we care.
That's
You're
nice.
not one bit offended. You won't leave, Jennifer. I'm here. And Colin from Wood Wizardry said, you miss me, Jennifer.
Oops.
Woodwork Learner says, what about the 03 brand, Steve?
The what?
03 brand, that's super glue. Steve doesn't even know what it is.
No, I don't know what it is.
I do, Andy. I did a video on it not so long ago, about 2 months ago. The 03 brand, it's a British brand of super glue.
Is it good?
Yep. It's every bit as good as Star Bond, because I have a thing of Star Bond as well. It's every bit as good, does exactly what it says in the tin. And it comes in 3 different thicknesses, thin, medium and thick. And they currently do one coloured one, which is black, and it's thick just for doing up, for filling voids and cracks. And it comes with an accelerator.
My question is, when you spray the accelerator on it, does it turn white or does it stay clear?
If you put too much on, if you spray too much on and don't leave it for a second or two, and then add lots of accelerator, it'll go white.
Right. Okay.
If you let it kind of go off a little bit and then add your accelerator, it works fine.
Right. That's one thing I do like about.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do like about. That's one thing I do like about the Star Bond that doesn't. You don't get that white in.
Yeah, but if you put loads of Star Bond down, Steve, on a piece of wood,
yeah,
and then hit it directly with the accelerator, I'll bite you your blooms. The issue is the accelerator is supposed to be put on the opposite side of something, and then the two halves are supposed to meet, and it sets it. That's how it's supposed to work. You're not supposed to pour loads in and then fire loads of accelerator over top.
Well, that's how we use it when we use it at work. We put it on both sides.
Yeah. So glue on one side, accelerator on the other, put the 2 pieces together. Works. It's not designed to seal it. If you fill a void and then put accelerator over the top, it's not designed for that.
No.
So it's best if you're filling a gap. Yeah, Benjamin says, I would just avoid the accelerator and wait the 5 minutes. You're absolutely 100% right, Ben.
Yeah.
If you're filling a void, fill the void, walk away and leave it. Come back 5 minutes later. Go make a cup of tea or something.
Well, to be honest, the reason we use the accelerator is because we're too impatient to wait for it.
That's correct. And Pete from Twisted Tree says, Yandel's El Cheapo brand stays clear when you put the accelerator on. You're just saying. And he agrees with me that Lewis says accelerator is great for gluing things together, but not great as it's being filled. I agree. Unless you're going to use little thin layers and then spray some accelerator in, just take your time, guys. Don't rush. It's your hobby. You don't have to rush. Take your time. Leave the accelerator in the tin. Unless you're joining something together. Radar says, I'm almost done with my coffee. Going to the building before it gets too hot to do a video. Good man, Radar. We'll look forward to seeing that. And Barry's got to go. He says, got to go. Meds are calling.
See you later, Barry.
See you later, Barry. Take it easy, buddy. And Gab from CD Woodwork says, I use Everbuild medium, and it's his cheapest chips.
Yep.
Jennifer says, Gav Marks said he thought you were coming for coffee and a plate on his lathe someday or one day this year. Oh. Picture going out of YouTube looks great today, Steve, I have to say.
Thank you very much.
I've just looked at you. Oh, just lost the chat now. Oops. So you never pressing the wrong button, you muppet.
You tried to multitask, didn't you?
I did. Well, I tried to move the screen up at the same time and I lost the chat. Ben says, same here, Gav, but the lids don't have the anti-clog pin, which is a shame. Yeah. I think, does Starbond have a pin in them that when you close the lid, the pin?
No, I don't think so.
Well, the 03 stuff, the 03 ones do. And if I remember, I think Pete from of the Twisted Trees told me that the El Cheapo one from Yandles has a pin in the lid.
The one I use for work has got a pin in. We use Howden's, and that's got a pin in it. I find with the Evergreen one, or the Evershed one, or whatever brand it was mentioned, which is in most build merchants, that if you don't wipe the nozzle before you put it back on, the lid will stick to it.
Yeah, it sticks.
That
was the problem. Yeah, I had the same problem with one that I got from Martin, I think, Hampshire Sheen. Once I forgot to wipe the lid and it stuck to it. The wood dude's just got back in his way, we having lunch. So they've just got back in, and this lidded box or pot, is this a lidded box or pot or some description? It is a lidded box out of Liburnum because the original piece, Stephen, failed.
It went like this.
It went wobbly.
It's a bit wobbly. As soon as I took the resin off of it, it went peak tong.
Yep. Weeball says the chestnut ones have a pin in them as well. Starburn has a pin.
Oh, do they?
Comes with it, but it isn't in the cover. Oh, it has a pin that comes with it.
I was going to say.
But it's not in the cover.
Oh, right, I can say.
Yeah, you were going to have a look there, weren't you?
I was going to have a look because I was like, is it?
Chase says he just dropped this week's video. That was careless. Why did you drop it? You'd be better posting it, Chase. Lewis says, nice, Chase. I'm doing a large project that is a couple of weeks to make. Oh,
nice.
I did a small project the other day, but it's just a real simple one. It's a beginner's bowl. But it's in the editing suite at the minute.
Editing suite. I like that. I mean,
that's what it's called. It's on my computer, basically, is where it is.
Right.
But it's the editing suite.
Get it sanded. Actually, might be easier with a bit of abandonment in there, rather than trying to be brave and getting that in there.
Quite right. Just watch your fingers. Watch your fingers.
So we're going to 120 first off.
Yeah, we've also confirming the chestnut pin is in the cap. It is, right? Yeah, get that workshop tidied up, Lewis. Your workshop's always tidy, Lewis. Don't be starting that nonsense. He's trying to say that he only just dusted off the headstock for my benefit. I'm not believing that.
I must admit, since I've had this fan going in there all through the summer, there is dust everywhere. I think with the fan going, it just blows it everywhere.
Steve.
So I think it might be a deep clean tomorrow, since it's bank holiday.
Oh, you're off tomorrow, eh?
Yeah, it's bank holiday, isn't it?
Excellent. The wood dude says it's okay, but lidded boxes with knots and bark inclusions can bring problems later, as they tend to move a lot.
Yeah, I think this one might move a little bit. But as long
Was
as it's
this,
good.
was this a dry piece of laburnum, or?
Yeah, it's very dry.
Okay, maybe all right. Donna said she's posted some jewellery that she made on Instagram. Oh, very good, Donna. I don't know if I'm subscribed to Donna on Instagram or not. Let me have a look. Instagram. Where is my Instagram? Okay. Donna, what's the name of your channel on Instagram?
Love Angel, I think.
Is it Love Angel on Instagram? Let me have a look.
Don't you just hate when you get a little tiny dot in the bottom there?
Yep. Love Angel Artist, is that the one? That's the one, I found it. Donna's got lots of lovely stuff on her channel, on her page on Instagram, if you want to nib across and have a look.
That's better. Right, let's go through the grits now then.
Gav says, question, can you use alcohol inks in an airbrush, or will it knacker up the seals, etc.?
Shouldn't do, because if you put in cellulose paint for it, it should be fine.
Yeah, it should be. I would think it should be all right. Alcohol inks. Stephen might be able to answer that. The wood dude. I would think you. Should be all right, I think. Because you use some terrible, and that thinners that they use to clean some airbrushes out with is pretty caustic.
Yeah, I can't see that the seals in it would only be water resistant. They must be chemical resistant as well.
I would think so. Yeah.
I mean, I clean mine out with methylated spirits. So, and I've also put cellulose finish through mine. So.
Yeah. Gab says that, or Andy Woodward Leonard says, Colwyn Way uses spirit stains, which he leaves in his airbrush for up to 6 months.
Yeah, Stuart Farini uses the same airbrush, and he has independent brushes for different colours, all the different colours, and he just leaves them. He leaves them connected to the pots all the time.
Yep.
So, and that's spirit stains. He uses spirit stains.
The question was about alcohol inks, Stephen. Yep. Is it okay to use them in an airbrush, Stephen? Gav says, okay, it's playtime soon. Gav's off to have a play in his shed. I am following, Jacob says he's following Donna on Instagram, so am I actually. I know a lot of splitting that, is there, Steve?
And where?
Just down at the bottom, on the other side of it, from your inclusion.
I don't think so. A little bit in there, but that's not.
Okay.
So not.
Right.
No, it's not.
Susie says, can you put lacquer over high gloss wax?
Yes. Leave it to flash off for a couple of days though.
Once you've got your wax on, I would leave it 24 hours at least, and then start using your lacquer.
But don't put heavy coats over it.
No, build it up in light coats. Benjamin says, I have one brush and about 10 pots for each colour. Yeah, I have a dozen little pots as well, and I use one brush and just change the pot, work away. And the little airbrush that I have that has the gravity fed cup on the top of it, you put 2 or 3 drops of like a Joe Sonia's or whatever in it. I just use methylated spirits to clean that out. What's a treat? Wood Dude says, I use them all the time in my airbrushes, but they dry super quick, so watch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the trouble with alcohol based, that.
Yeah. So if they did dry out in there, you could reactivate it with some isopropyl alcohol, I suppose, couldn't you? And just spray it through and then put some methylated spirits through it just to
Yeah, I can't see why
wash
not.
it out.
Can't see why not.
It would be fine. Donna says, I've got 350 people following me now. And she says, please, this punch. Just rightly so too, Donna. Can you copy a link from? That's not Donna, that's the wrong one.
So that would have been great if before I parted this off, I'd have put a tenon on the end of this one.
Yeah.
So we just got to try and put a tenon on that now.
That'd be easy enough.
Oops. Helps if you put it in the pot.
Actually, yeah.
That's better. Not doing that too tight, just enough to get a bit of friction to do a tenon on the end of it.
Amy says, translation for Dodgy. Methylated spirits is methyl. Metal. Gotta love the Australians. Just stick an O in the end of everything. It's great.
Right.
There we go. A nice little tan.
So that's our pot done. I'm not going to turn them apart it because I want to do a bit of colouring on it, but we'll see what time we've got. As you can see, nice little pot, nice little inclusion on the inside there, match the outside. Nice bit of wood that is.
That's a lovely piece of wood.
Just gently curve the bottom, so there's no sharp corners in the bottom of it.
I like that. And then whatever you put in it actually ends up in the middle, so you're not having to try and dig it out the corner.
And the other thing is as well, when you want it, you just put your finger and just pull it, and that pulls it out, doesn't it?
Correct. That's exactly right.
Right, so this is a little bit loose. Where I've sanded it, it's a little bit loose. So I'm going to clean that off, and then we're going to just recut that. Because like I say, I want it to sit. I want the lid to sit just inside there, and I want it to curve over the top. So when you look at it, you see a little bit of a shoulder, and then it gently curves up. That's what I want.
Okay.
So just gently clean this off. I can find my
So the wood dude has given us an idea how to clean our airbrushes. He says 90% deionized or distilled water, 10% isopropyl alcohol, and a few drops of pink window wash, or just for colour. There you go. Make that into a bottle and just use that for clean your airbrushes. Perfect. Colin from Wood Wizardry says, laburnum is a lovely wood to turn. It's one of my favourites. It is nice to wood. It's quite dense wood, isn't it? It has that kind of waxy feel about it.
Yeah. Because it's the hard class. Is it classed as a hardwood? I suppose it is, isn't it?
It is a hardwood, yeah.
42 mil.
Donna says, my internet is acting up. Oh no, I hope you haven't got my disease. Oh no. Although I haven't said that, mine's just behaving again. Good picture back again.
So I'm just going to put a little tiny mortise in this. 20.
Woodward. Andy the Woodward learner says, I recognise types of wood by what the label says. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. I've got a whole pile of bowls in here that I knew what the wood was when I started, when I turned them, and now I have no idea. I have to get more organised and actually write on them what they are. Susie the Swiss woodturner says, it's one of my top favourite woods too. And Amy has asked a question, would acetone work too for cleaning airbrushes? I take it that is, Amy.
I don't know if acetone would damage the seals. No. Acetone dries grease out and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't use acetone on things with O-rings in it.
I know acetone can be quite aggressive on O-rings.
Yeah. Well, basically, the little seals that are in airbrushes are O-rings anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I would be careful with it, with that. I think that says, if I ordered all these chemicals online here, he'd have the peelers at his door. You probably would, Gary. Gary lives in Northern Ireland too. Oh, Lewis has said, pro tip, if you're using a grinder and a flat wheel or Scotch pad to take off the bark from live edge slabs, do it outside.
Note to self.
Oh, have you made a mess, Lewis? Oh dear. And Jacob says, yes, do not use acetone. Yeah, get the labour out blind. Yeah, that's what I should do, Andy. I'm actually quite bad at that. And the wood dude has reinforced that. Don't ever use acetone, ever. Susie has said, I love turning things out of laburnum with mostly the amazing brown coloured wood and a little bit of splint wood on it for the contrast. So there's a big contrast between the sapwood and the hardwood, I think, a bit like you.
And I don't think you get laburnum in big pieces either, do you? I think it only comes...
Not usually. It's usually just branch pieces you get. Because people kind of like the laburnum trees. They can go quite thick trunks, but they have to be really, really old.
Right. Right, so that is the...
Chase from Chase at Wedge Wood Works says acetone is great for epoxy, for the epoxy mess.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you mean if you spill resin? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Yeah, acetone is for nail polish remover.
We use quite a bit of acetone when we're doing fiberglass roofs because anybody who ever done a fiberglass roof, it is a total mess. It's just rubbish everywhere.
Yeah, Gary Glass says laburnum looks lovely when it blooms. Yeah, absolutely. The big sort of dangles of bright yellow flowers. It's almost the same colour as you see the oilseed rape fields. People who Twisted Trees picked up 3 pieces of 8-inch diameter laburnum last week.
Wow.
That'll be quite an old tree, that. Was that trunk pieces, Pete?
Right. So let's just gently push that up and mark that.
Oh dear, Stephen. Stephen the Wood Dude says, Chris, everything ruins my nail polish. I just don't know what to do. Simple answer, stop painting your nails. Thought you only paint your nails on a Friday night, Stephen.
Only on a Friday night, I like that.
Chaser said he's just bought some honey locust.
Honey locust.
Oh, sorry, he hasn't bought it, he's just brought some into his shop. Brilliant. We don't get that over here, do we? Honey locust?
I haven't seen any over here.
Pete says, yeah, it was a trunk, much of which went to firewood before he spotted it.
Oh man, heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Right, just a little bit more.
This is the important part of making a box. This is the most important bit.
Yeah.
Take your time, get the fit right.
I'm actually trying to put a slight chamfer on it, so.
Where is Mark the Gentleman Woodturner today? He hasn't appeared.
So Kim, innit?
I have no idea. Donna's fighting my internet just now, or fighting her internet, I take it. She's not having an easy time of it. Now you know how I feel, Donna. The current complaint I have with BT has been ongoing. This is just the current complaint since the 27th of July. But it's never been right for the day now it was put in.
Which is way too long.
Well, but, oh, miles too long, yeah, miles.
Oh man, it can't be much more.
Now you don't get frustrated now and take too much off, because that's what happens. And you end up with the French fit. Well, Pete, because Pete has just said, Steve, Brian, why have you not persuaded Steve to put a tenant into that mortise inside the tenant? Because he's not as gullible as me and would fall for it, Mr. Pete.
Oh, I think we're there. I think we're there.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So I put a pencil line on there so we know where we're going to. There somewhere. Oops.
Oops.
So we just get rid of a bit of this.
Stephen the Wood Dude says, my local tree surgeons are starting to sell all the wood as firewood as we approach winter with the gas bills hitting the roof.
Yeah.
So I'm now bribing with cups of tea. You may have to start bribing with something a little bit stronger, Stephen. The way prices are going. An 80% increase in the gas prices, gas and electricity. Everything will go up.
Well, I think you'll be surprised when the new MP comes in. I think that's all a ploy, mate.
Do you think?
I think as soon as that new MP come in, that'll be, oh, look what I've done. I've held the gas prices.
You Prime Minister will change the price cap, do you think?
Make him look like God.
Yeah.
I think it's all a ploy. It's all scaremongering. You mean it's gone from just over £2,000 a household, and one site was saying the other day £8,000 a house. People can't afford that. Some people only earn £12,000 a year.
Correct.
And
sole
pensioners
pri-
and pensioners only get,
pensioners.
what's pensioners get, eight or nine
So,
thousand pound a year on a
about,
pension?
it's about £9 a year now.
Yeah, so if you're paying 8 grand in fuel bill, how the hell are you gonna? You can't. It's impossible. It's inhumane.
No.
It's inhumane.
The issue I have with the whole pricing thing is the scaremongering on the news. Why they're saying that everybody's bill is going to be £3,980 average, instead of telling us what the price per unit of electricity will be.
Yeah, because the trouble is, Brian, they don't know. They're all scaremongering. That's the problem.
Because currently the price for electricity is in around 25p a unit, I think. But with that 80% rise, it's going to rise up to nearly 50%.
50p, you mean?
Yeah, 50p, yeah. Somewhere around there. So it would be much better if, because people understand how much they pay per unit of electricity. Well, at least I do anyway.
Yeah. And the trouble is, while you've got companies like Eon Power, they reckon they're going to go up by 80%, but they've just made a £4.7 billion profit in the last 6 months.
Right. Yep.
So why do they need to increase their money? Why do they need to increase?
Is Eon not the French outfit?
No, EDF is the French ones.
That's EDF. All right.
Which is quite strange because the French people had a maximum of a 4% increase across their energy. Correct. And because they serve the UK, we're getting twice as much, which is yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And that French outfit is owned by the French government.
Yep.
So we're paying for French electricity bills as well.
But what makes you laugh is
it's a good
British gas, all the gas that comes out of the ocean, is sold to the UK for more money than what they sell it abroad for. So that just proves what they think of their British people, doesn't it? If British gas was nationalised, we would get first refusal on it.
The standing charge is going up as well, Ben, but it would be handy if they told us what the standing charge is per day or per month or per year, and the price of electricity. Yeah. Because they're not telling you the price of electricity, they're just hyping this great big figure that the average household will be paying. Yeah. Tell us what the price of electricity is going to be. Stop messing about and scaring everybody.
Just scaremonger, that's what it's all about. They want the British working class people to have their nose on the grindstone so they can't look up and see what's going on around them. That's what it's all about. So,
changing the subject, Jacob has just said, has anyone turned out 1,500-year-old bog wood? If you go to Mike Walt just did a bit on his channel, and Shay from BB Turning did a bit as well. I think his was even older than that, actually. Bog oak from Ireland. That's quite.
Just a question.
Mike Walt.
Just a question. How do you know it's that old?
Because they can carbon date the wood.
Oh, right, okay.
Pete Twisted Tree says shareholders are already pleasantly surprised at the price of energy. Yeah, you bet they are.
Because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with all the money they're getting in. That's what it is.
The Scottish power person said to, wait a minute, I've just lost that. That's disappeared. Where we go? Donna Love Angel says, Scottish power person told me that it was £10 a month for my pay-as-you-go machine. That's ridiculous. People who are on pay-as-you-go machines shouldn't have to pay a standing charge. I think it's ridiculous.
No. That's like years ago. My mum and dad used to be on a meter. Yeah. So you like put 50p's or whatever. That's it, yeah. Yep. And people don't realise, or some people don't realise that you actually pay more for one of those because of them having to put it into your house and this, that, and the other. Well, you'd think the reason you're on that is because you're on a low income, or you've not got a regular wage coming in, so you don't want to run a debt up. So you'd think they'd try and help you, wouldn't you?
You would think. Pete from Twister Tree says, cheeky Brit, Pete. He said Brian dated the oak tree when it was planted. Yeah. No,
Been found out, Brian.
caught on. Wasn't me actually. It was Michael.
So make a little tiny button in there.
So Colin from Wood Wizardry says my lecky bill is approximately £89 a month. I wouldn't be far away from that. About £100 a month, I think I pay for electricity currently. Or Michelle pays. She pays the electricity bill.
Mine's £150 a month, and they told me, or they think they're going to tell me, that it should be £397 a month after the increase.
Yeah, I don't pay by direct debit. I refuse to pay my bills by direct debit. I hate direct debits because they can just change it and suit themselves, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, and like I said to him, so if I use X amount of units and that's not 300, that means you've got money of mine sitting there for 3 months and an interest on it.
Yeah, because they want you to be in credit. That's why they do it. They want your account to be in credit. So they've got your money sitting in a bank account. They've got millions of customers. If they've got £5 in credit from every customer, they've got there's £5 million to invest somewhere else and get money from it. It's a con. So I get a bill sent to me every quarter and I pay it.
Well, I've told my electric company that when the new price increase come, that I'm not going to pay direct debit. I'm going to go on to when they send me a bill every 3 months or 4 months, whenever they sell it, I will pay it that way. And they go, well, if you do that, you have to pay standing tariff charges because the reason you get it cheaper is because you direct debit.
You get a bit cheaper because it's direct debit, but it doesn't make it that much cheaper, to be honest. It's just a big con. I'm not doing it.
If everybody stopped paying direct debit, the country would come to a standstill.
Yeah. We don't do direct debit at all. Yep. Donna says, I pay monthly as I have memory issues.
Memory?
Memory issues, yeah. You mean you forget to pay? Donna, is that what you're saying? Yeah, Woodward Lanner say I pay by direct debit, but I told them the amount I was willing to pay. And he had to be very firm with them. Yeah, you would have to be.
Yeah.
Extremely. And Jacob says he doesn't have an electric bill. Very good.
I wish.
Jacob, what do you do?
I wish.
Do you have your own solar panels or what? How do you work that?
There's going to be a lot of companies, these energy companies go bust because people are not going to be able to afford to pay. If the increases go like they say they are, people are not going to be able to afford to pay it. So there's going to be a lot of companies go bust, I think, like they did before.
So Donna says, I pay per month now over the year, and it's about 60 quid, and I'm in credit. Very good. I wouldn't be in credit 60 quid a year, a month. Definitely not.
I must admit, my bill has dropped a lot since I got rid of my caravan, because my caravan used to be on charge all the time.
All right, okay.
So,
see, you should have had solar panels charging your caravan. See,
yeah,
I have a solar panel system that charges the batteries for my electric fencing.
Yeah, but for the cost of solar panels, it would have out what I've paid in electric, wouldn't it? Really?
100 quid a kilowatt, or £100 a watt for a solar panel.
Yeah, but you're not on. You're on about. Yeah, I know what you're on. You're on about the portable ones.
No, you can buy. You can buy. Well, I've got like what are they? About a meter by 600 or something,
okay.
Or maybe 500 that I bought, and I just installed them on a frame that tracks the sun, and it charges the batteries. I run on my electric fence on up at the yard, and when I need it, if I need it, I've got a little inverter up there that I can use as well to, if I want to boil a kettle or something, I can do that too.
All right. Might be worth looking into it, because the roof of my workshop, I'd get loads on there.
I'll get them on there. The expensive bit is the battery storage. That's the expensive bit. But I'm using lead acid batteries currently.
Right. Just looping them together.
Yeah, just series parallel. Yeah. Or parallel, not series parallel. Parallel.
Right, sand and seal this in.
But if you can buy these fancy battery packs now that you can fix to the wall.
Yeah.
And just charge them up. Lewis says it would be cheaper to take a loan and set up solar than continue to pay for electricity, power and gas. You're absolutely right, Lewis. It would. We are so far behind in this country with solar panels and stuff than the likes of Canada, and even in Alaska and places, people are living off grid there all the time. And North America.
That'd be my idea of heaven. That would living off grid. Have my own generator. Harvest your own water.
There's no reason why you can't, Steve. There's no reason why you can't do it.
Right, Yorkshire grit. Yay!
And Jacob says he can run his welder off it.
Wow.
Yeah, I could probably run a welder off mine too, but
depends on the runtime, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Inverters use quite a lot of power. And I had an inverter in the back of my van years ago when we used to do a lot of work in the middle of nowhere for charging drills and all that. And
yeah, go ahead, Steve.
And if you ran the inverter for any more than 20 minutes, the battery would be virtually dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the beauty of solar panels. They just keep feeding it in all the time. So, but you would take a lot to keep up with it. But Colin thinks every house should be fitted with solar panels. Now there is a whole thing now about solar panel tiles that they can put on roofs, and I don't understand why the government are not saying that all new houses must have solar panels fitted to the roof. Why are we not doing that?
If the government was clever enough and they paid for every house in the UK to have solar panels put onto it, there would be enough electricity going back to the grid that we'd never have to worry about any electricity ever again.
And thereby lies the problem. Because if there's that many people generating micro generators, as they're called, generating electricity and sending a little bit back to the grid, it does wonders for your energy security, but the people who run the electricity companies won't be making any money.
Nope.
There's the problem.
It's all about making money.
That's the problem. It's all about these fat cats making money. Yeah, Pete says you need to rotate his house by 90 degrees to get good solar power, or move house, Pete. Or move house to the countryside, Pete.
No, he's just built his new bit of workshop. He can't move now.
There's the plan.
Right, so Yorkshire gritted that. Let's put a little bit of wax on it. Let's go with a bit of microcrystalline.
Andy Woodward Lerner says, I can't fit solar panels up on my upstairs. My neighbour might trip over them. You live in a flat then, Andy?
Put them on the landing, you'll be all right, boy. You'll be all right.
Yeah, Ben, I was actually thinking this the other day. We have a great big field up at the yard here that currently is in little horse paddocks. It's 4 acres and it runs almost parallel north-south. So we could put a complete field of solar panels up there. Nobody would ever see them. And we could create loads of electricity. And somebody mentioned wind turbines. That's a little thing for you too, Steve. A wind turbine.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have great big ones. They don't have to be huge, great big things. You can have small ones.
Yeah, I did do a little bit of research on wind turbines quite a while ago, and they only have some of the smaller ones still generate quite a bit of electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we just need to finish this box really. Change the chuck back since I put the small chuck in there to do the lid.
Pete from Twisted Trees is getting this is almost starting to be a conspiracy theory. He says, when prices reach a level we can't afford, we all need to use social media to coordinate the day we all simultaneously refuse to pay.
Yep.
The tools are there, he says. You're absolutely right, Pete. The longer it takes, I mean, I said this about, it's a slightly different subject. I said that about Sky TV. When they first brought it out, it was all wonderful. Everybody got everything and it was fine. You got it for 20 quid a month or whatever it was. And then the next thing that happened was they said, oh, we're going to just start charging you for sports.
Yep.
When it was already included in the package. They were going to take it out of the package and then send it back to you, but it cost you an extra £5 a month to get it. That was the day I sent Sky TV back and said, take it away, come and take it away. I'm not interested. If everybody in the country had done the same thing, we would be paying 20 quid a month for Sky TV still.
Yep. If this country stood together, we wouldn't be in the predicament we're in now.
No, it's because we're divided and people won't stand up for the cause, if you like. It's the power of the consumer has been negated in this country. So Lewis says he looked into a windmill 10 years ago and he says a $140,000 windmill would have done 10% of what he uses. It isn't really windy enough here. Yeah, it doesn't suit everywhere. So I was thinking more along micro generation. If you use solar to power your batteries, but have wind as well. So just a smaller wind generator, not great big huge thing. Just to try and bring up the. Was there a Woodturning question about the SC2, Chuck? Did I miss something?
I did just see something about an SC2 when I looked up at
this. Put an SC2, Chuck, on my birthday list. Finger crossed. Oh, Colin wants one for his birthday.
Nice little chuck.
I think it's a super little chuck, but you're right. It is the key is the issue. It's one of those dopey keys.
Someone was on about the SC3 the other day on Facebook.
Yep.
And they were saying they looked at the SC3 chuck. What do people think of it? And I said, good chuck. It's just the key. That's a pain in the backside.
A rubbish key.
Yep. If they were all an Allen key, because I said go for the SC4 because they got the 8mm hex Allen key, which is much more durable and easier to use. And I said if all their chucks had that same key, which I don't see really why there's a problem why they couldn't use the 8mm Allen key for all of them, they would be much better.
Yeah, Lewis is correct here. He says shop equipment requirements is what makes it tough to go through solar and go off grid. Yeah. It is, because some of our machines, I mean, like our lathes and stuff, draw a lot of power.
Yeah, and that's storing the energy as well.
That's the main problem. Is how do you store the energy so you've got enough to run your machinery and stuff. Huge battery packs.
Batteries are not enough. Batteries are not advanced enough to be able to. I mean, they spent many years in progressing and manufacturing solar panels, but they've not really thought about the storing of electric, have they?
The dude says the answer to the lack of wind for your wind turbines:
beans. Yeah,
beans.
My missus.
Oh, unkind, which is not here.
True, but unkind.
Pete says he uses the SC2 chuck with a dome jaws quite a lot, but I hate the chuck key. Absolutely agreed, Pete. I have two SC2 chucks, one with dome jaws and one with just like ordinary, what experts call C jaws, just the standard dovetail jaws, and they're brilliant for small stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Nothing wrong with them at all, apart from that dopey key. I suppose it would cost more if they were to insert that gear into the machine and have some way of holding it in and then using a different key to tighten it. That's the idea. That's why it's designed like that, to make it cheaper.
Right, let's just buff that off.
He says, I'll solve the storage problem. I'll just make a bunch of Teslas, bury them in the back garden, and create a power storage in them. That's a great solution, Pete. Tesla actually make battery packs you can hang on the wall inside your house.
Elon Musk has said that if they covered one state of America in solar panels, that would be enough energy to power all of America.
Yep.
He said that years ago.
Yeah. And there is truth. There is some truth in that, but the issue is it's the storage of power again. It's always going to be an issue. But it's not insurmountable. It's not like it's impossible.
No.
You can't have these battery packs. They're really expensive.
That's good.
Mike Morris says, did we lose the feed? No, I don't think we've lost the feed. Stephen, you've used the word.
Let me guess. 114.
Yeah. Why would anyone use anything other than I can't even bring myself to say it. Chris Dodd said, pick a state, any state. Yeah. Somewhere in the mid to North America where it's going to be sunny and not have a chance of what do you call them things? Tornadoes and stuff.
All right,
I'm surprised there's not more solar panels and stuff in Australia because they get really good weather.
Yeah, and there's a lot of land sitting there not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right, so I was going to put a bit of colouring on that, but I actually quite like that bare like that.
Yeah, natural.
Natural. So I'm just going to get a little brush and just brush that out.
Just get super glue finish. Amy says Nevada.
Nevada.
And she said Arizona. Sorry, Ward.
So that'll fit in there like that. Nice.
Blair says California desert would be amazing. However, the solar panels don't last very long. I think they could last perfectly well.
I think the old Sam might have something to say about that.
Amy says we have a solar farm in the outback. We have loads of solar farms here. There's a Coca-Cola factory in Lisburn, and if you look out the back of the factory, the fields at the back of the factory are completely covered with solar panels, and they power the factory.
All right, so just gently part this off. Put a little undercut on the back of it, just so it sits on the edge of the bowl or pot, not on the middle. Hope we don't go through the middle. Nah, should be fine. What time's the Grand Prix on tonight?
It's on Channel 4 at 6:30.
Oh, okay.
Should be anyway. I haven't actually looked, to be honest. I'm sure it is. Like, it was on at 6:30 last night. It's the Belgian Grand Prix, so it's usually on at 6:30 when it's in Europe. There's a waiting list for SC2. I don't know. Is there a waiting list for the SC2?
No, I got mine.
I wouldn't have thought so.
She got me a warm.
Pete's suggesting that we could just need some cooperation. Denmark is flat and windy, so they could use lots of turbines and make surplus electricity. Or Norway is covered in mountains, so use cheap Danish power to pump the water up the hill and then let it go back there again. Hydropower.
Hydro, that's a good one, nice. Especially in Scotland and all that.
There are a few hydro dams in Scotland. The technology's out there, guys. We just have to have the will to build it. And
well, it's not the will, is it?
Less,
it's the tax.
less greed.
The government don't want to spend the money. They'd rather give it to their wealthy friends. That's the biggest problem this country. That's the biggest problem this country's got.
Greed. Yeah, greed. Millionaires want to be more millionaires.
Right. So
nobody just wants to just have enough to live on. They want to have millions. Want to have more. Got to have the next big thing.
Well, we're getting back to when that was in the 60s and 70s, when the rich were rich and the poor were poor.
Yep.
Anyway, let's sound this
Stephen
up.
says there's already a cable from Denmark to the UK. There is indeed. Donna says we need nuclear power. That's the greenest. Yeah, until it goes wrong, Donna.
They do say that nuclear is one of the safest if it's looked after properly.
Yeah, if it's looked after properly, just go and have a look in Ukraine. See what's happening there at the moment. Already had one disaster in Ukraine from a nuclear power plant. And now we're looking at the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, which is 6 massive generators, is under siege by, well, it's not under siege by the Russians. The Russians have taken it over and switched it off to the grid. God knows what they're doing to it now.
Hope they shut it down properly.
Yeah, Blair is right. Less greed is the key.
I remember watching a documentary many years ago, and they reckon there was enough money in the world for everybody to have £1 million sitting in their bank account.
Probably is.
Just that the rich were too greedy to share. They just wanted to be richer than everybody else.
I agree with that. And when you're paying, don't get me started on footballers.
No, definitely not.
Just don't get me started on footballers.
That is
we have a whole league. We have a whole league of footballers who are being paid an absolute fortune in the countries in poverty. Crazy. But they guys do not deserve to be paid that kind of money. At the end of the day, what are they but entertainers? That's all they are. And it's the same with all these entertainers on the TV who are getting paid millions. It's disgusting. Stephen says there's nothing wrong with nuclear, just don't put it in the sandwiches. There's not much wrong with it, apart from the fact we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the nuclear waste. Recyclables is the way to go.
Yeah.
Reusable.
Weren't there a guy in, I don't know, it was America or UK, who said you could use old tyres? If you mash up old tyres, you can get liquid out of them to run vehicles on. And there's enough old tyres in the world to make millions of gallons of liquid to burn in cars.
You worked out a process to turn it back into oil, because basically that's what tyres were in the way.
Yeah, that's what the process was.
That's what the vulcanized rubber.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he came up with this idea that you could, all these old tyres, turn into fuel to burn power stations or vehicles or whatever. But again, that's down to greed, because these big companies are not going to be making money out of getting oil out of the ground and everything else.
Jacob's watching 2 channels at once here, he says.
Hope you're watching something interesting on the other one, mate.
Why not? Are you not interested in this? That's wonderful. It's a nice little demo of making a pot.
Driving me potty, you are.
Yandles have a lot of record power stuff on sale at the moment, apparently.
Yep, they do. 15% off, isn't it? Runs out soon, though, doesn't it? It's only for the next few days.
The Woodward Leonard says just send the nuclear waste to Northern Ireland, saves Brexit problems. I don't know if you're saying that in jest or not, Andy, but I hate to tell you, there is currently a scheme investigating the Sperrin Mountains, which is in Northern Ireland, as a depository for nuclear waste because of the type of rock it is.
What, will that won't come through it, I think? Or?
So it won't leach out through it, yeah. Be able to, the idea is that they'll be able to build this huge big cavern down into the rocks and store millions upon millions of tons of nuclear waste in the mountains. And it won't, the radiation won't travel out through the rock. How about that now, see? Whether that ever works or not, it's a different thing.
That sounds a bit dodgy to me.
Totally.
So just
this is why Colin agrees with me about the footballers getting paid millions of pounds. Yeah. I knew you were jesting on it. But the stranger things have been said in jest. Footballers getting £1,000 a day for kicking a ball around is disgusting. It absolutely is. Yeah, they could be well paid, but nobody in this world, I don't care who you are, deserves more than £100,000 a year. Nobody. If you can't live on £100,000 a year, there's something wrong with you.
Well, you can live on it, just that not to the lifestyle a lot of them live. That's the trouble, isn't it?
See, they don't need that lifestyle, but
well, they don't.
It's greed opposed to need. And the sooner we realise that, the better. But I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime.
No, I think you're right, mate. All right, so
Donna says the blades of old solar panels are hard to recycle, and the wind turbines are made into landfill. Yeah, well, that there is some truth in that too, Donna. You're absolutely right. There is some truth in that. But just take a look around you and have a look at the amount of cars that are on the road and have been for the last 100 years, and many of them are in landfill.
Right, so just a little bit of wax on the bottom of that, and I think we are there.
Stir the hornet's nest now, so I have.
I saw my friend yesterday, and he reckons the second-hand car market is going through the roof because of all the because of all these new legislations with electric cars. People don't want them, so the second-hand market is absolutely mental at the moment.
Has been for quite a while now. The price of second-hand cars. That's why new cars are getting cheaper.
No, that's true. Right. So just a little bit of polishing on the bottom there. So there's my little pot.
Lovely.
Made the handle in the lid. We're on camera. I'm trying it to the back camera, and we're on the top camera.
Yeah.
So I made that.
Just about to say.
Made the little lid in the handle. So tapered it.
Nice.
I just need to finish that. I've tapered it. Sorry.
Can't see it.
I've tapered it. I've taped.
Zoom the camera out a wee bit or something.
There you go.
There we go.
So I've tapered the lid so it actually goes in. It just finds its own natural spot. So nice little laburnum box. I do like the natural feature in there. It's nice. Turned to a nice little curve in the bottom. But yeah. So nothing high tech today. Where's the fancy mountain piece?
You've lost it.
There it is. So there's my pot. Like I said, I've just finished the inside. Just need to put a bit of sand and sealer and a bit of wax on it. But there you go. Another potty pot.
It's a nice slow pot.
So basically, just turned it for the club meeting on the 14th, I think it is. So just to show willing and show that I do take an interest. So it's always nice to be honest. The club is growing nicely, which is really good. When I first started going, I think it was April time last year. No, it wasn't April. March, April, February time. I think I went. First time I went, there was like 18 members. Last club meeting there were 33, so it's growing nicely.
Ah, excellent.
So hopefully the club is on with people coming back from COVID and obviously people wanting to get out and about. The club is going to grow nicely, which will be really nice because I think it's good for the people who go to get new members in because that makes them feel that they're actually part of something a bit bigger. Does that make sense?
Pete says, Steve, nice one, Steve. But can we have Nikki back?
She will be back next Sunday, Pete. She will be back next Sunday.
Thanks, Pete. This is Amori standing in because she's away at the zoo today.
She wants to see her family. So Brian told me anyway.
At the zoo. So that's what Steve said.
So yeah. So obviously next week.
Hold on. Susie the Swiss Woodturner says, question: could you show your club turnings live on YouTube?
I don't know if they'd allow that. I don't know if they'd allow that. I'm doing a demo there next month, but I don't know if they'd allow that. I'd have to ask. That'd be quite interesting, actually, wouldn't it? Do it live on YouTube. There is this on a Wednesday evening, and Wayne goes live on a Wednesday evening, doesn't he?
He does.
So I don't want to stand on Wayne's toes. But I don't know. Might be worth asking in the near future because it needs to be more interactive. Right, let's come back. I have told them that it needs to be a bit more interactive.
Stephen says clubs are great. If only there was one who would let me join.
Yeah, ours is not too bad, to be honest. It's,
I know
the thing that I find with our club is they're very old school, and it's very frustrating because you come up with new ideas and you speak to the committee about it, and they're like, "Well, the members don't really like doing that. The members don't like doing that." So
never done that before.
So it's very hard, but hopefully in the near future we can change a few things and get a few more younger people involved. It's always nice to have a bit of fresh blood helping out.
Jim Matthews has just joined us.
Oh, Jim Matthews.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
We just finished.
But you can go back and watch it. Show you what we made just to
Yeah, it's live.
Made a little box. Nice little box, that. Just got to finish the bottom. Other than that, it's all done. So, nice little box. Yeah, so it's like any club, innit? You just need to progress on. But it will come. Right, so what's the time? Blimey, Governor, look. 3 o'clock nearly.
It's
been on for
nearly 3 o'clock.
2 hours. It's too long.
No, it's not. We enjoyed that. It was good fun on a Sunday afternoon. Thanks very much, Steve.
You're welcome. We've put the world to rights. So if you're listening, the new MP, if you want any help, just ask me and Brian, and we'll sort it for you.
The new PM, not MP. PM. New Prime Minister.
PM. Then, if you need some help, just ask me and Brian, and we'll be there.
Yes, that's Sort it
out. I'll take half a year, half what you guys are on a year. I don't need 90 grand a year. 45 would be plenty.
No, loads. Yeah.
Right, guys. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. Don't forget next Friday. I won't be here next Friday because I'm doing a live demo in Norwich. But if Brian's got his internet back, you never know, he might cover.
I might.
But if not, I'll stick a video up. So
I will if I've got video, if I've got internet. Yeah. But I can't guarantee.
But Brian, we'll let you know that in a week. If not, I will put a video up. I have a video already to be edited to go up anyway. So I'll do that. We will be back Sunday with the announcement of this month's or next month's hashtag. Because I believe that's the 4th.
Correct.
So yeah, we'll be on with that one. So come over and check that out.
Yep.
Then hopefully after that, I think everything's back to normal because I think the next demos I've got are on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'll be fine for the following few weeks. On the 16th of this month, we have Stuart Farini joining us for our special guest airworm. So make sure you don't miss that one. The link for that will be coming up in the next week or so. So that'll be interesting. Stuart's always a good laugh to have on the channel. And other than that, if you haven't got your tickets for Harrogate, get your tickets ready.
I haven't got mine. I better get one.
So Pete's on live tomorrow lunchtime. Notice just put his link in the live in the chat even.
Yep, he hasn't did.
Right.
I had no idea what's happening, so I've not got an engineer coming until Thursday next week. So we'll see how it goes next week, guys. If I can, I'll be there. If I can't,
just keep your eye out. If you're subscribed to Brian and you hit that notification bell, then you will be notified as soon as he puts a live up. So other than that, we're going. Shall we say goodbye then, Brian?
We'll say goodbye.
See you later, guys. Thanks for coming over. Thanks, Brian, for helping out today. Thank you very much.
No bother, mate.
Take care, guys. Speak to you later. Have a good week. Bye for now.
That's all, folks.